Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Sicilian Corner on another dreary, may I say, dreary day. Lou, what the heck is going on?
I don't know. I don't control the weather.
I mean, this weather is absolutely.
Yeah.
I don't get it. I don't get it. It makes me feel like I'm going to rust. And for somebody with a bad back, this is the weather that doesn't do you much good. Let me tell you whatsoever.
Imagine, yeah.
You know, look who we have with us today. Lou? Mary Anne. Of course, they drove all over northern New England to find us, but they're here. They're here.
We're dedicated.
We're dedicated. I like that. And her sidekick in crime. When did you guys get married? 67?
Oh, no.
In the mid-60s.
No, yeah, mid-60s. Yeah.
Okay. It's
Yeah,
been
we're
quite a while, huh?
Well,
Right.
we're dinosaurs.
Yeah.
You know, we're still here.
We haven't killed each other yet.
I want to thank you very, very much to both of you. I know you got a crazy schedule.
Yeah, well, thanks for inviting us.
It's nice to have you on board because I know we're having some technical problems, but you know something, that's what makes it interesting.
Yes.
You remember when Lou Blassie used to have hair?
He still
Yeah,
does.
no more.
actually. Well,
No more. He
you know,
lost it all.
Watch
This
who you're
morning,
talking to.
it just fell off.
Yep.
This morning, it just came up.
You know, but bald men are beautiful.
Yeah, well,
There they
you know
are.
something?
That leaves you out of the picture.
Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You know, guys, one of the things that I look forward to, and I know the both of you do, because it's a partnership.
Yes.
But I didn't realize, you know, for the, was it 1987 you started your show?
1989.
That's what I said,
Yeah.
1989?
You said 1987. Yeah.
All the vegetables
Uh-huh.
that appear in your show,
Yeah.
this guy here is responsible for.
Right. This is due to Gaetano. You know, he's considered the head gardener for the show. Because every year when we planted the garden, I gave him his marching orders and said, here's what we need to plant because this is what we need to show the audience. And he always came through.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you know, for our listeners that don't know, Guy had an outstanding career as an orthopedic surgeon. So as far as spare time, I don't think he had all that much. But when you did, you were out there playing in the garden, right?
That's right. That's right. It was therapy.
You know, so I bet.
Meditation. It's meditation.
I
We're
bet.
working with the
You know, next week on the Sicilian Corner, we have a local doctor from the Merrimack Valley. Remember Marcus Welby? You know the show, Marcus
Oh, right.
Welby?
Yes.
You know his mannerisms, always dressed up.
Yes.
You know, cool. Well,
Yes.
anyway, long story short, this gentleman, name is Dr. Tom Horner, and a lot of people are listening to us today, Lou, were patients of Dr. Tom or affiliated with his office. And, you know, after working 75, 80 hours a week, being on call and whatnot, it's tough.
Yeah.
It's tough. So now he just retired. He's been retired for about a little over a year and a half. And now he's spoiling his grandchildren. So he's going to come. They're doing, his wife's a doctor also.
Mhm.
And he's coming on next week.
Mhm.
And I want to know what it's like to be working full bore, getting calls at 2:30 in the morning to come to Lawrence General Hospital, to being a man of, not a man of leisure, because I know he's not, but I'd like to know the transition, what it takes. I think he's got the right personality for it.
Mhm.
I mean, but you know something, I can't wait. He became a very good friend. Not only my doctor, he's operated twice on my back, but all through the years, I was his fourth patient. Fourth, when he got out of
Medical school.
out of the Brigham and Women's.
Uh-huh.
He opened up. He went into practice with an established doctor locally, and I was his fourth patient. So we've been together a long time. So he's going to be on next week with us. But getting back, let's start talking with you, Mary Anne. All right?
Sure.
Yeah.
You
Why not?
Go ahead, Mikey.
Why not? Are you doing anything in Italy this year?
Yes, of course we are. Every year we take a group to Italy. So this year in the fall, in October, we're taking a group to Puglia, which is, at the heel of
Yeah,
Italy.
right.
So Puglia is now becoming the Tuscany of the South.
Really?
People have discovered Puglia. When I started and when we first were going to Puglia to film a lot of our shows, this was just me and the crew. Puglia, nobody knew where Puglia was. It was like, where, what? It's part of Italy. Now it's becoming much more popular. And so a lot of people are going to Puglia. And sorry to say, one of the things I'm not happy about is one of my favorite places to go there is Alberobello, where they have the little Trulli houses.
Yeah.
And so those were like little stone edifices that shepherds would live in when they were tending their sheep. So they're all over the countryside. And now they've turned them into, of course, tourists, bed and breakfast and trinket shops.
Yeah,
and
they
all
actually
that.
have a term for that, staying on a farm, like when you...
You like an agriturismo, you mean?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, this isn't really that. This is like, tourist city now. So I'm a little unhappy about that. But that's what happens when you get well known. It's like Florence and Rome. When most people go to Italy for the first time, that's where they want to go. And they should. Rome, Florence, Venice. Those are the big three.
No, I get it. Guy, what's your favorite part of Italy, Sicily?
I like Umbria, which is in the center of the north. And it's
What is it again?
Umbria.
Umbria.
Oh.
It's the only landlocked province in all of Italy, and it borders Tuscany, Emilia-Romagna, the Veneto. So it's a fascinating area. There's beautiful hill towns. That's where St. Francis lived, and it's Assisi, and his shrine is there.
Wow.
And
Wow.
Perugia is a very beautiful cosmopolitan city, which goes back 2,500 years to the Etruscans, and then the Romans, then the Longobards. Then we went into the era at the time of our of the Middle Ages to the present.
Yeah. I'm going to ask this to both of you.
Uh-huh.
A lot of people talk about Italian cuisine.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Is there such a thing? I mean, because every little province, every little village kind of has their own spin to a dish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you can put the Italian cuisine label on everything.
I don't think you can. In fact, in my very first show, I said this. There is no such thing as Italian food.
In your very first show?
In my very first show, I was in front of a big map of Italy, and I said, there's no such thing as Italian food. There's only regional food. Regional food, because you've got 20 regions of Italy, and each one of those regions cooks very differently depending on what they have.
You look at Parmesan. I mean, it's cooked 5 different ways wherever you happen to be.
Right.
Everybody has their own
right.
little flavor to it.
But I think what you have to realize too is that Italian cooking evolved through habit and through what was available. They didn't have recipes. These women who were the mainstay of the kitchen and they had, a few dandelion greens here. They may have had an egg from the chicken coop there. They made something. It became a frittata. But
whatever was available in the garden.
That's what Italian food is. It's using your imagination with what you have to create something that's good.
And most of the time, simple is better.
Absolutely.
Right?
Yeah, because some of the most classic recipes, like let's take one of our favorites, cacio e pepe. Cacio e pepe.
How easy is that?
How many ingredients are in cacio e pepe?
2.
Well,
3. All right.
There's cheese, there's the pasta, there's the pepper, and there's the olive oil. 4 ingredients. And it's fabulous. It's a classic dish. So you don't need a bajillion ingredients to make something that's really good and is typical of, let's say, Italian food in general.
That's one of Tommy Zappla's favorite dish because it's the cheapest one to make. I shouldn't have said that, Lou. Shame on me.
But it's not that easy to make, right, Guy?
No, it isn't.
It seems simple, but it's not. Why? Tell them why.
Well, because you got to get the cheese just right so it sticks to the pasta.
It doesn't clump.
It doesn't turn into big lumps of cheese in the pot.
And there's a trick for that.
There's a trick to
that. There is.
Yeah, that'll be on the next.
Would you care to share?
Well, I thought we'd save that for the next show.
Okay.
But we can tell them. We
No. If that's the way you want to play, that's
no,
good.
I'm only
No,
kidding.
Louis doesn't mind.
I'm only kidding. Well, first of all, you got to start out with the real thing, pecorino cheese. Pecorino Romano, pecorino
Yeah.
Sardo, pecorino Locatelli, whatever it is, grated very finely. So really finely grated. And then mixed with a little bit of the pasta water.
Yeah, that's important.
That's really important. That's separate. In a separate bowl, you're doing this. You're mixing this so it's creamy. Then you cook the pasta.
You know, huh, girl?
Oh, we know.
Oh, sure.
We know.
Oh, there's no question. Hey, Guy, out of all the dishes your lovely wife makes, what do you consider your favorite?
Well, it's really hard when you have a chef cooking all the time.
I get it. I don't want to put you on the spot,
No.
but there's usually one or two dishes
well,
that yell, please.
Mm-hmm.
For me, pasta with vegetable
anything.
sauce, pasta with tomato sauce, pasta with chunky vegetables.
Anchovy. Oh, yeah. I like it.
You are one lucky man.
Yes.
He never eats the same thing twice.
I
And
like
that's
You
true.
know, I agree 100%. You know what we got to work on?
What?
Louis works very, very hard.
Yes, he does.
He does. He puts in a long week, works a lot of hours.
Mhm.
We got to get him to go on one of your trips.
Oh, please come. Come to Puglia.
He would go bananas.
He would. He would have such a
And his
wonderful
sidekick in crime would, she'd enjoy it every second of it.
Uh-huh.
No question about it. When are you? When is your trip sold out?
This trip is sold out. There is a waiting list, however, so Lou could get on that waiting list. You're going to pay for it, of course. But so it's scheduled for October 16th through the 26th. It's a 10-day trip. And if the focus is food, obviously.
Yeah.
The foods of Puglia. So, and what is one of the most famous pastas of Puglia? You know what this is. Mikey. One of the most famous pastas in Puglia. Orecchiette, little ears.
The ear.
The little ears, yes. The little pasta that's formed with your
With the
thumb and a
thumb.
knife to create something that looks like a little ear. That's the most classic.
You still make pasta at home with the sticks and string it out?
Darn right I do.
Huh?
Yeah, I just
Like the old clothesline.
right. I have these dowel rods propped up between two chairs, just the way my mother and grandmother did it. And
Yeah.
I hang the pasta, It's fun to do and look at and say, well, I'm carrying on the tradition. But for Easter, I've already made the ravioli. So I've made ravioli. And I also made casoncelli, which is it's a sort of like a turnover looking pasta that's filled with meats and amaretti cookies that comes from Lombardia in the north.
Yeah.
So
Wow.
they're very different takes on
No
stuffed
question.
pastas, just like you were saying earlier. Wherever you go in Italy, things change depending on what's there.
Yeah. You came from a very Catholic family. Between your nanas,
Yeah.
Catholic families celebrate a lot of saints' holidays.
Yes. Yeah.
How has that influenced your cooking? And like, say, for instance, a lot of food that's based around St. Joseph, say.
Yeah.
There's a special dishes that,
Yes.
Louis, we used to go to La Suma on Fleet Street in Boston. Barbara La Suma owned the restaurant, and now her daughter is running it because Barbara passed away. But she used to close the restaurant on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
And she would invite, I think the restaurant held about 84, 85 people.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be dishes that she grew up with in Italy that her nana celebrated
Mm-hmm.
the birthday.
Mm-hmm.
And it would be the St. Joseph Society, that whole group. And there'd be 84, 85 people, whatever the restaurant could hold without breaking the law. But we'd be there for over 3.5 hours. And you never knew what you were going to get. And one of the things that I liked the most was she would make this pasta dish, and then she'd get breadcrumbs and butter
Yeah.
and put the breadcrumbs over it and the breadcrumbs represented St. Joseph was a carpenter,
Correct.
and it represented the sawdust.
Right.
See, stuff like that,
Yeah.
I love.
Yeah.
I love it. I enjoy every second of it. But that poor woman, she worked. Oh, it was. I mean,
Yeah.
a lot of work.
A
A
lot of
lot of work.
work.
A lot of work.
Mary
So
Anne's-
quite a few of your recipes came from your growing up and kind of traditional type of things. You know, today I don't know how many people would create a meal based on St. Joseph's birthday. I don't.
Well, if you were in Salemi, Sicily, where we were 1 year for St. Joseph's Day on March 19th, you would be eating 100 non-meat dishes because St. Joseph's occurs during Lent.
Mm-hmm.
So there would be 100 dishes laid out. Now, my grandmother from Sicily did the tables. She made the tables, St. Joseph up there on the little altar, and then she had all of these different dishes. And, you know, everything from the breadcrumb spaghetti that you just
I
mentioned.
love that story. I really do.
Yeah, to the pasta con sarde, which is pasta with sardines and fennel.
Yeah.
That's very classic.
And she did that.
Yeah.
I loved that. But my God, you had to really pace yourself because, you know, Tommy was trying to take bags home, but she wouldn't let him. You know.
Yeah, but you're right that these traditions are being lost today. You know, as younger generations come along,
It's watered down.
they don't
And
want to do this. Yeah.
Marriages, you know, Italians are marrying
Mhm.
outside of Italians, and everything gets, like you say,
Yeah.
you lose a little bit, you lose a little bit, you lose a little bit. You know, you look at some of these feasts that go on, even in the North End, which is still very strong. But the amount of feasts that we had, say, Italian feasts that we had, say, let's say even 12 years ago, we've lost 3 or 4 of them, and they become strictly processions because the cost it's crazy. The police details and everything else that goes along with it. But you're seeing these traditions getting smaller, and smaller.
Mhm.
You know,
Mhm.
Guy, have you planted? You're the gardener, and I'm sorry about what's going on with the show because I'm sure people wanted to call in,
Yeah.
and I don't believe they can
I was
today.
looking
Correct?
forward to that.
There's no calls. But I know your friend Tony Parmesan had a couple of questions for Guy.
Oh darn.
He was going to ask, is it confirmed now that you're going to be at the Feast of the Three Saints in Lawrence?
Yes, I'm going to.
You're
be
all.
there.
That's all. That's a done deal.
Yes, that's a done deal.
Your
Yeah.
son took good care of it.
Yes, he did. He
Okay.
said, "Mom, you will do this," and I said, "Okay."
You had a good crowd. You turned out a good crowd.
I did have a good crowd, and I think we'll have a good crowd again this year because we're going to be featuring Guy's tomatoes.
The book,
Yeah.
the last book
Uh-huh.
that you did. I'm
Yeah.
sure. Is there another one in the works?
I'm.
You're gonna hang it up.
No, I'm not going to.
This is what 15.
This is 14. Ciao
That's what I
Italia,
said. This is
Plant,
14.
Harvest, Cook. Yes, this is 14. 15 is more of a memoir book with.
And really, to honor this guy.
Yes, of course, he's a big part of it, and he's a big part of this book because without him, I could not have written this book.
The name of the book,
Ciao Italia, Plant, Harvest, Cook.
Cook.
Right, exactly.
That's your end.
Yeah, and so it's unfortunate that we're not, we can't take any
No.
calls.
And again, I have to apologize to
What
our
about in the
listeners.
chat?
Huh?
Can they put a question in the chat?
I don't think he can do that too. Can you do that? Yeah.
Yeah, put a question in the chat.
I don't see anybody up there. Maybe they're sleeping in.
But right now, tell them what you're doing for the garden.
Well, now, yesterday I started all my lettuce seedlings and grow 6 different types of lettuce. And that way you can get a crop through the whole summer.
I wish I was your neighbor.
Well, you come on over. You can come over.
You can come
Lou
over
can
and
come
work
over
anytime.
too.
I'll
Bring
put you
Lou
over.
over.
I mean, you must have a lot of stuff.
Oh,
Yeah, well, it's
And isn't it wonderful when you grow a garden? One of the best things that you can do is when you give to your neighbors
yeah.
and to see the expression on their face.
Yeah.
You know, we had one fella that listened to the show all the time, and he's working right now, and he doesn't have access. But at night, his routine is gets a glass of wine, and he would watch a Sicilian corner around Peter Scipoletti. And the first time I met Peter, my brother was over the house and we're in the pool. But my back was looking away from my walkway. And my brother says, "Hey, do you know this guy?" And here's Peter carrying this big bag. And he had come over with, I never met him. I didn't know who this guy was. I didn't know if he was a bill collector. I had no idea. But anyway, I says, "Can I help you?" He says, "Mike." I says, "Yeah." He says, "I'm Peter Scipoletti." And the name hit because I know I used to call the show once in a while. And I says, "Hey, nice to meet you." So he says, "I got some stuff for you." And you couldn't believe. I mean, it was like a Demoulas market basket bag right. Between tomatoes. It was absolutely unbelievable. Listen, our sponsors, I can't say enough good things about them. I think we got some pretty classy sponsors. 4 of them have been with us since day one. Unheard of in radio. Unheard of. Hey, listen, we're going to take a break, everybody. Stay tuned. And we're going to be back in this segment. We're going to get at the nitty gritty and we're going to get some tips. You want to get more vegetables out of your little garden? Containers? This is the guy. We'll be right back.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
When you dine at Ristorante Melisse in Amesbury, Massachusetts, you feel at home while enjoying an authentic Italian dining experience not to be forgotten. From the appetizer to dessert, you won't regret your choice. Bring your cravings and appetites. They promise you won't leave hungry or without leftovers for the next day. Takeout and catering are also available. Give them a call or visit them online for the menu, online ordering, and reservations. RistoranteMelisse.com. That's RistoranteMolise.com or call 978-388-4844. Ristorante Melisse, where you're treated like family. Legacy Care Law Firm provides estate planning and elder law services to people in the greater Merrimack Valley and southern New Hampshire areas with offices in North Andover and Woburn, Massachusetts, as well as Nashua and Salem, New Hampshire. Discussing family and financial matters with an attorney can be intimidating, but our goal is to help you prepare for the future as you preserve your legacy. We help clients qualify for government medical benefits and ensure their estates are preserved for their families so they don't need to worry about their estate being wiped out by high nursing home expenses. Legacy Care Law Firm attorneys are here to support your journey toward a more secure financial future.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Orthopedics Northeast and Essex Orthopedics have joined forces as Mobility Bone and Joint Institute to bring improved access and outstanding medical care. While our name has changed, our dedication to exceptional care remains the same as it has for the past 30 years. Same location, 16 Pelham Road, Salem, New Hampshire.
This is Cindy.
And Mike Kunstler,
Owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
We have an incredible chef, Oscar Figueroa.
In the words of local famous chef and restaurant owner Lydia Shire,
Oscar thrives on hard work.
He is capable and gifted.
No one makes better food. Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
All right, we are back. Mary Anne Esposito needs no introduction. Her better half, Guy, he's quiet, but he does an awful lot of good things. And he keeps the show, Ciao Italia, up and running, truthfully. It wasn't, I'll ask you a question. Wasn't his idea to get all your recipes and to go to your community cable TV?
Yes.
Was it? I can't hear you. Would you say yes? Yes, that's what I thought you said. No, that's good. That's good. So you saw the future, kind of, and she just needed some encouragement. And, you know, you went to PBS the first time, and they said no, right?
Yeah,
Right?
sure. They sure
That
did.
must have been a,
Whew.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a
But
Well, they
lo and behold,
they
how
never
many years? 37?
30.
30.
30.
Wow.
They didn't know how to deal with her because she was relentless. She kept pounding doors, talking to people, calling, letters, everything until they took a shot at the show. And that started and was a success right out of the gun.
Guy, do you have a hothouse on your property?
No, I don't want anything to do with a
Seriously?
greenhouse. No.
So when we get a rainy spring like this, how does it push you behind?
Not really, because
Really?
The garden's in full sun, and it has a sandy base underneath the topsoil I've created. It's I do most of the stuff inside in the basement with grow lights.
You
I
have,
a whole
you
bunch
have
of
your
grow
man
lights.
cave?
Yeah, downstairs.
Yeah, she sticks me in the corner behind the furnace, in the bulkhead door, in the oil tanks.
And he's got it all laid out. He's got grow lights. You know, yesterday he planted his
But
lettuce.
you have cold weather products that you can plant now, like lettuce and
That's right.
radishes.
This is the cold weather garden time now, but up where we are, you can't even put lettuce in.
you must have very good drainage, I would imagine.
Yes,
No?
we do. We do.
Yeah.
The big problem is we just don't get warm enough. The ground doesn't get warm enough until the last 2 weeks of May to put anything in. Even lettuce. Lettuce won't do well because we get freezing, and sometimes we get down to 30.
I mean, the other morning where I live, it was 25 degrees.
That's right. It was colder where we were.
I mean,
20.
jeepers.
Mhm.
I know you guys get some influence from the ocean, so it may be a couple of degrees warmer, but
Yeah,
not
but,
a hell of a lot.
but not in the
No.
spring.
Yeah.
Now, the size of the lot that you guys,
Yeah, my garden is 60 by 25, which comes out to about a third of an acre. And it's intensively, you can intensively crop this thing. And the big thing is that, like you say, it grows a lot of stuff if you do it right and maintain this. A friend of mine who's came here from Italy and worked in horticulture his entire life, he used to say, the garden needs a dead man. And I said, Marino, what are you talking about? He says, you think about it. So finally it came to me. What he's saying is, the garden needs somebody who's always there taking care of it. It's just like he used to say, the best fertilizer is the gardener's shadow, because that means he's there. He's taking care of all those different plants. No, but we give away a lot of food. Basically, our garden feeds 4 families. We have people, our neighbors next door. They're new from Massachusetts, moved up, and they love with us. But they're interested in gardening, and they're hard workers, so they're helping me with the garden now.
You know, my mother, Sarah, God bless her soul, she couldn't wait to get out there and plant. Now, she kept the seeds from the year before.
Yeah, so we do.
And you do too? Okay. And, come when it was time, she'd put them in the little pea pods and start them and get them going. But she'd put them behind the slider door because the sun used to really come through there.
That's right.
A lot.
They
And
germinate that way.
you can't, no matter, when you're trying to do something in the house, it's not like being in the basement.
That's right.
It gets a little bit, me and my father used to go bananas because we had just built the house.
It's a mess.
My floors. I mean, she was a character, but she would plant over 160 tomato plants.
Well,
We were 4 people, my brother, myself, and my mother and father. And the only thing she would ask me to do is rototill the property where she was going to plant. You never saw anybody take more pride. At that time, I was at Market Basket or Demoulas back in the day, and I was working a lot of hours, and I was going from store to store to store. I used to get like one afternoon off. That was it. So I'd pull up to say hello, and she'd have bags. And she'd say, Mike, do me a favor. Can you run to Havel, drop this off at Aunt Mary's?
Right.
You can drop this off at Auntie Ann's.
That's right.
Me. That's all I did was drive. I barely said hello. She's got me off and running somewhere.
Mary Anne was on that drill when she was home.
Yeah.
At Christmas time, would be delivering all the different breads and cookies. And at Easter time now, and this is a family tradition, we have the lamb cakes. And she used to make like a dozen, and Mary Anne had to take one to each of her aunts.
Wow.
So it was a real show.
My mother and father loved Swiss chard, and I really didn't care for it that much. Do you like it?
I like it.
Yeah.
Do you?
Yeah.
I like kale.
He doesn't like kale.
I don't like kale, but I love Swiss chard.
Okay, so we're opposite.
Yeah.
I get the kale. I'll wilt it down,
Yeah.
let it come to a little bit of water, let it wilt down, a little bit of salt.
Yeah.
And I get the water and I drink it and I love it. I love it.
Yes.
Absolutely
Lots of
love it.
vitamins
But
there.
then
You're going to live forever.
I'll shred it up a little bit once it cools, and I'll put it in a like a frying pan with a little bit of garlic and
That's right.
extra virgin olive
That's how I
oil.
like it. It's the best way.
A little bit of water, and I'll get some ripe tomatoes. Sometimes those Roma tomatoes are nice and ripe. Dice them up. It makes a little quick sauce.
Yeah.
Put that over a dish of pasta.
Delicious.
I mean, it costs you nothing. You could feed a family of 10.
Yeah.
That's right.
I mean, really, it's out of this world.
That's good. You
But
should do a book.
Simple is best.
That nice simple sauce is right. Nice simple sauce
sauce.
is right. So right now you've got in the ground onions. You probably got lettuce.
I've stopped growing onions.
Oh, okay.
Because it's in the summertime they throw them at you in truckloads, and carrots too. I don't bother with carrots; they're fussy. Onions are easy to grow. It's just that I've sort of got tired of it all, of that stuff. You know, the things we grow are tomatoes, pole beans, string beans, eggplant, of course, peppers.
It's amazing
Bush
how many
beans.
peppers you can get out of one container,
it
one
is
plant.
amazing. Yeah.
That's right.
It's mind-boggling.
Mhm.
That's right.
I love the red ones,
Yeah, me too.
and you know something. Nothing gives me more pleasure than to put them in the oven. I put the broiler on,
That's right.
and I try not to burn myself, Louis, as I turn them until you get them really nice and black.
That's right. Then you
And
take the
then
skins off.
I whenever I can get a paper bag, I hold on to them and I store them. And you get the peppers and you put them in the bag, and you tighten it as much as you possibly can. You let it sit in the bag maybe 45 minutes, 40 minutes, whatever the case might be. And then you peel all that blackness off of it, get rid of the seeds, and then you put in a nice container, extra virgin olive oil, some garlic. Oh, even if you get just a plain pizza, a cheese pizza, all right?
Put that on.
$9.99 or whatever the case might, whatever you're paying for.
Oof.
You get a couple of slices of those peppers and you put it on there. You could charge an arm and a leg. I'm thinking of opening up a pizza place
Yeah, sure.
in Wyndham, because we have. I think in Wyndham we probably have 6 Italians. Not too many.
Yeah.
Not too many.
Well-
Al Letizio, him and his father, and me. I think that represents about half the total population.
We grow a really interesting pepper, guys.
It's called Corno di Toro, which is a red, long pepper, very thin skinned. Sounds something like what you're using, and it's great cooked. We brown them. We do just what you do, get them black,
Just
and
like
then
that.
Then we peel them, and she
What's
pastes
the
them
name
in
of
olive
them?
oil.
Corno di Toro,
Corno
the
di
horn
I've
of the
seen
bull.
'em. I've seen 'em.
Yeah,
Yeah.
which is like the
Yeah, the cross, yeah.
That's right.
thing that people wear to take the Malocchio away.
Yeah.
But-
Whenever I'm with Tommy, I wear one.
Yeah, yeah, right.
No, I'm
I
serious.
noticed you don't have one on today. So.
I'm serious. I don't have Tommy with me. I got 2 people that I like. See, there's a big difference.
But
There's a big difference.
but with-
How about hot peppers? Do you grow hot peppers at all?
Yeah, we got some
We
tiny
grow
ones,
some small ones.
fingernail size.
I
Yeah,
like the.
I love them. Some people don't like the heat, but
yeah.
I mean, I'll take some of the seeds out, but I find a balance, and it just gives it that nice.
Yeah.
All right, it's
Just-
worth getting up in the morning for.
Just a little. Just a little.
Little
heat.
bit of hint of
little,
heat.
Little bit of heat really makes a difference.
But
You
you know,
make
if
you make some chicken cutlets.
Yeah, sure
and
I
you
do.
Get a nice,
Yeah,
a little bit nice stick of bread. Me, are you kidding?
right. You know, one
Oh.
of my mother's favorite sandwiches was broccoli rape with a chicken cutlet between 2 slices of really good Italian bread. Delicious. A little drizzle of olive oil on it. Yeah,
Oh my!
yeah,
Oh my!
yeah.
My favorite thing on a Sunday morning when my mother was making sauce,
Yeah.
we'd get
Bread.
what they called a French stick,
Uh huh. Yeah,
and we had so many Italian bakeries in Lawrence. I mean, the bread would be hot,
yeah.
and
You were lucky
my
to grow
father
up
would
there.
walk in the door with 2 big sticks, get the heel, rip it off, go to the sauce, dunk it in the sauce.
That's right.
And we actually had a restaurant here in Lawrence called Bees, and they had a cutlet that became known throughout the whole area, southern New Hampshire and what. But if you were short on money, they would make you a sauce, just a sauce sandwich. They get a nice piece of bread, 6-7 inches, slice it, load it up with sauce. Hey, you'd think you were eating a Delmonico.
You know, it's good. It's delicious.
Yeah.
You know? How do you prevent animals from getting at your produce?
I use an electric fence, which is because we live on Deer Meadow Road, if that tells you anything. And we have everything you can name: rabbits, raccoons, possums,
Woodchucks.
woodchucks.
Oh, you have woodchucks?
Oh,
Yeah,
yes.
I've
I
got-
had one a couple of years ago. He drove me bananas. I swear this guy used to laugh at me. He was living underneath my shed by the pool.
They do that. They love it
And
there.
I know he was laughing at me. I really do. You know?
Well, Guy
Well,
has a trick for that.
Okay.
You have a heart trap.
Well, the thing is, get them in the have-a-heart trap. I have one set right now. This guy, we look outside in the afternoon. He's in the middle of the lawn. He's in the middle of the backyard. No matter where I put the trap, he goes someplace else. So I'm chasing them. They're tricky to get.
And they like a certain kind of food. They're very particular.
They're like
cantaloupe.
No way.
Yes, cantaloupe.
Cantaloupe is their favorite.
We've got chickens next door. Okay. So there's 6. But they have such a personality. They're unbelievable. I mean, they follow you around like you're the boss. I walk across the street to get my mailboxes in the office, and I got maybe 14 houses on my street. It comes to a dead end at the lake.
Yeah.
So no cars go by to speak of, really.
Mm-hmm.
So I go out to get my mailbox. I walk down my walkway, and I go to the mailbox across the street. Then I turn around and I look, and there they are, one by one, following me like in a parade. So now I get the mail. I turn around. They turn around, and I'm following.
You're the general. Following
That's
your
funny.
lead.
They are cute.
Mm-hmm.
My brother comes. He spends 90% of the time playing with
With
those
chickens.
guys. and they're adorable.
Yeah.
And of course, I haven't had to buy eggs for.
Lucky you. I mean, look at what eggs are now, especially around Easter when we make the Easter breads with the eggs. It's very expensive.
Oh, tell me about it. I don't think there's going to be as many colored eggs this year.
No.
Listen,
No.
hold on to your thoughts.
Mm-hmm.
And I appreciate you making the best out of this situation. But I need to take a break. And then we come back. We're here to the top of the hour. And something? That's a good thing. Right, Lou? We'll make it through it. This is live radio, baby. You got to love it. Either hate it or love it. We'll be right back.
Ciao, this is Esther of You, Me, and Sicily. I want to talk to you about Tommy Amin and the great staff at Butcher Boy Market. Families, foodies, and home chefs come together at Butcher Boy to talk good food and create traditions. They offer the best in quality cuts of beef, pork, lamb, poultry, and restaurant-style steaks and chops. Produce? All of their produce is hand-selected to complement any meal or even to make it your main course. Their deli serves fresh roast beef, turkey, and beautiful imported Italian cold cuts, cheeses, and antipasto. And don't forget the Butcher Boy Bakery, featuring sweet delectables from all over the state, as well as their very own bakery. That's Butcher Boy, where the secret to a great steak is, of course, the steak. Located at 1077 Osgood Street in North Andover, Massachusetts, in the Butcher Boy Plaza. Ciao!
This is Tom Zappala. Located in the heart of downtown Haverhill, the Haverhill Beef Company is a full-service, old-fashioned butcher shop and meat market that continues to be a valued family tradition since 1952. Peter and Monica Carboni's Haverhill Beef offers individualized service from an outstanding selection of marinated sirloin tips, homemade sausage, marinated chicken, and thick, juicy Chairman Reserve steaks. Your family deserves the best, so call Peter at 978-374-4795 or visit their website at www.haverhillbeef.com.
Sisters and co-owners Antoinetta and Elisa brought their family authentic Italian recipes from Molise, Italy, and a warm and welcoming dining experience to its customers at Ristorante Molise. The combination of their meals made from natural, homemade, fresh ingredients, and your time with family and friends together at dinner time is unmatched. Located in Market Square in the heart of Amesbury, they're open for dinner Tuesday through Sunday from 3 to 9 p.m. and are available for private parties during off hours. For reservations, call them at 978-388-4844. That's 978-388-4844. Legacy Care Law Firm provides estate planning and elder law services to people in the greater Merrimack Valley and southern New Hampshire areas, with offices in North Andover and Woburn, Massachusetts, as well as Nashua and Salem, New Hampshire. Discussing family and financial matters with an attorney can be intimidating, but our goal is to help you prepare for the future as you preserve your legacy. We help clients qualify for government medical benefits and ensure their estates are preserved for their families so they don't need to worry about their estate being wiped out by high nursing home expenses. Legacy Care Law Firm attorneys are here to support your journey toward a more secure financial future.
At Catadella Funeral Home, we reinvest in our business to provide your family with the best facilities. It begins with a beautifully landscaped exterior, parking for 250 vehicles, and a comfortable and inviting access to our renovated interior. Funerals can be costly, so you should review and compare plans to make sure you receive services that are fairly priced. I invite you to experience the Catadella difference in cost, facility, and service.
Catadella's, honoring and celebrating the lives of the people we loved, providing exceptional care since 1929.
Italian artisan cuisine combines simple, fresh ingredients with time-honored preparation to create an incredible culinary experience. At Tuscan Kitchen, located in Salem's historic Depot District, talented chefs prepare everything in-house from scratch for all to see. Guests enjoy their meal literally in our kitchen as food is prepared right in front of you. Wood ovens burn from morning till night, roasting vegetables, baking bread, and firing delightful thin-crust pizzas. Prime steaks are seared on a wood grill. A rotisserie slowly roasts marinated whole chickens and lamb, while a pasta maker creates fresh fettuccine. More than just artisan cuisine, Tuscan Kitchen features the wine bar, live entertainment, weekly wine tastings, and elegant private dining and event space. Call 603-952-4875 or visit TuscanKitchen.com to make a reservation and learn more about the culinary adventure that awaits. In Italy, cooking is an art form. Tuscan Kitchen. Experience artisan Italian.
Orthopedics Northeast and Essex Orthopedics have joined forces as Mobility Bone and Joint Institute to bring improved access and outstanding medical care. While our name has changed, our dedication to exceptional care remains the same as it has for the past 30 years. Same location, 16 Pelham Road, Salem, New Hampshire.
This is Cindy,
And Mike Kunstler.
owners and operators of Four Oaks Country Club and Grazie Italian Restaurant in Drake, Massachusetts.
Grazie Italian Restaurant is the hidden gem of the Merrimack Valley.
Why is that?
We have an incredible chef, Oscar Figueroa.
In the words of local famous chef and restaurant owner Lydia Shire,
Oscar thrives on hard work.
he is capable and gifted.
No one makes better food. Scallops, seared to perfection.
House-made ravioli with farm-fresh local corn.
And buttery, tender, lazy man's lobster, just to name a few.
You have to come experience Grazie Italian Restaurant for yourself.
Grazie Italian Restaurant, located at Four Oaks Country Club, 80 Meadow Creek Drive in Drake, Massachusetts. Hope to see you soon.
All right, and we are back. Mary Anne, the sidekick in crime over here. And you know something? For all the years you've been married, you look pretty good.
Thank you.
You know what I mean?
She looks even better, though.
She does. This one here doesn't change. How the hell you do that?
It's the Mediterranean diet. I'm telling you, we eat the Mediterranean diet.
We do.
And
You know something? I'm a strong, too much. I'm a meat eater, and it's not good for you.
no,
And you know, now that we're starting to get a little older, I have tried to cut back considerably.
okay.
But you know something? I don't mind getting like a nice eggplant, a couple of zucchinis, maybe a summer squash, getting a red onion, put it in there, getting a couple of red peppers, putting it in there, make a nice big
A chambot.
throw it in the
Yeah.
oven. Me,
That's a
yeah.
chambot.
That's
I'll
all you
pick
need.
on that for 3 days.
That's right.
When I'm hungry, I go to that.
Yeah,
And you know something? It works.
it works. And you could put a poached egg on top of that, and you'd have terrific protein.
I couldn't afford it.
Oh,
But now I got. Now
You
I
got
can.
16.
Now I got the chicken.
chickens. Yeah.
Yeah. Now I got the chicken. But they are absolutely common. But just getting that in a nice pan between the red pepper,
Mhm.
between the red onion, the eggplant, cut it into cubes, 325. Let it cook for an hour or so. Turn the heat off, and I leave it in there.
Yeah.
Oh,
Delicious.
oh.
Yeah.
We eat a lot of vegetables.
Can we talk here? Listen, how about container growing? Do you do any of that? You don't have to because you have the land.
I have plenty of land, but we have these small grow tubs that are commercially made. You can buy them. It's like about 1 foot by 3 feet. And you can get a lot of stuff out of that.
Absolutely. And if you use a trellis,
it's even more. That's right.
You can really add to it.
You could put a couple tomato plants in that, and you can put a little trellis in the back and grow some cucumbers.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah.
Or
you know
grow
something?
lettuce in them too.
I think everybody should get outside. You don't need a psychiatrist. You don't. I mean, get basu. You know, even if you go out, you feel the warmth in your hands. I don't care. I don't even wear gloves. I'll be honest with you. I just like getting out there, but I don't plant in the ground, to be honest with you. I love flowers, but I have a big deck, and hopefully some of our listeners feel sorry for me, and they drop by the house and they drop off tomato plants and peppers and whatnot. Roger, did you hear me? Peter Scipoletti, did you hear me? But that I make out like a bandit, but it's so nice. You're sitting there and you reach, 4 feet away from you, grab a couple of tomatoes, those little cherry tomatoes, and man, I'll tell you, nothing better.
The reason to have your own little garden is number one, you're never going to get it fresher.
True.
But more important is that you know how this was grown, and you get to choose some of the varieties of things that you grow. You don't have to depend on the supermarket.
You know something? Basil, every morning I walk out and I usually have my coffee outside. I bring my laptop. So I do a little bit of work before it gets really hot. But I grab a couple of sprigs and just rinse my, it's beautiful. That, and I enjoy lamb chops, so I use a lot of mint.
Yep. Yes.
And mint is like wildfire if you let it go. So in a container, it's good.
Right.
In a container, it's good.
Yes.
And the basil, long as you keep trimming it, boy, it just keeps,
it'll last you a couple months.
Replenishes itself. And
that's right.
it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So getting back to if you're growing in containers or whatnot, how do you keep the bugs? Are there certain plants that defer?
For example, there's this thing called Remea, Remeay, and it's floating row cover is the more vernacular name for it. And it's a polyester thing that they actually use the interfacing in some clothes. It will allow 98% of the sun through it and most of the rain through it. And it keeps
the
bugs
wind,
up.
it stops the wind?
It stops the wind and stops the...
That's another thing. There's been so much wind this year.
Right.
I'm looking at my azaleas, Lou, and some of my rhododendrons. I've got some kill on the rhodies, which normally my rhodies do very, very well because they're the old-fashioned ones. They're not the hybrid. And the wind just... So this helps with the wind. What's it called again?
Remea.
Floating row cover. Just go to any
a hardware store. They have it.
And it's not expensive. And what you got to do is basil. It's magnificent because the basil stays very, very tender and very, very fragrant. And
it hates the wind.
Yes, that's right. You grow it under this. You'll never grow it
any other way
in the wind. You can cover these things very easily,
and it keeps the bugs away too.
It's great
which
to
is
keep
important.
The Japanese beetles,
which is important,
and the mites.
Yeah. Lloyd, do you do any vegetables on your property?
Yeah, we do some tomatoes, cherry tomatoes mostly, grape tomatoes, cherry tomatoes, and I grow aromas because I need.
See, he's got all sand.
He's lucky.
Yeah.
No, it's good.
I've got some beds, so I built some beds.
Yeah. Well,
better sand than clay.
Yeah,
but
clay is awful.
You just mix clay with sand. You got to grind it up first.
But that's why Guy tells you got to get a soil test every year. That's
every other year.
Every other year, okay.
If you do containers, you just dump the dirt.
You love it, don't you? Huh?
I've been doing it for 50 years. I know something.
And it keeps you limber.
It's good for you, it really.
Because you're kneeling down, you're standing up. You're kneeling down, you're standing up. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. I like it. But you know something, and your area isn't all that big, so I'm surprised. I thought you were going to tell me you gave more land to growing your vegetables, but you know when I'm thinking about it, a third of an acre
That's
is quite
a lot.
bit.
I mean, you'd be surprised
we feed
what comes
4
out of that.
families. We feed neighbors on either side and neighbor across
Yeah.
the street plus us.
And
their deal is they put in some sweat equity.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd give it away anyway because this thing will grow enough to feed 4 families. You can't keep up with it.
What's your secret to keeping weeds down?
I use a lot of mulch, black plastic, 3 foot wide. You plant your tomatoes right in the middle of it, 2 to 3 feet apart. Good example. And the rows themselves, between the rows where we're not planting stuff, I put down a lot of straw.
Straw?
A lot of straw. Straw will do it.
And that doesn't retain moisture?
It does. Some.
It does.
And the other thing, too, is that at the end of the year, you till, or in the spring when you till everything up, that gets mixed in. So you're adding some cellulose-like materials, which increase the tilth of the soil.
So you turn your soil over, what, every 2 years?
I overdo it, according to my
a man that admits his fault. Go figure.
According to my agricultural friends, the thing to do now is to do limited cultivation. In other words, plant in the same place every year, just dig new holes. Don't till up all the soil. Fill in the old holes, dig new holes, and put it in and use mulch.
You know, someday,
I haven't bothered to that.
Yeah, sounds good.
I don't like to dig little holes. I'd rather have a rototiller do it all at once.
And you start all your, I noticed you got some seeds here that you purchased, but do you buy all your seeds or do you try to keep them from year to year?
You can usually get 2 to 3 years out of them if you buy the right seeds. Like Johnny's is really good from northern New England and for this whole area. I buy seeds from Italy too because they give you a lot of seeds for your money, and the seeds have a germination date on them, so you can usually get 2 or 3 years out of it. You got to store them right, though. You got to store them in a cool place.
Yeah.
Not freeze, but you can store them in a very cool place, dark place. Make sure it's not wet, and it'll last you a couple years.
Interesting. And you have one particular dealer you do most of your business with, or?
We go around different places.
I just try everybody.
Yeah, these are things that I picked up in Italy when I'm wandering around. I'm sticking them in my coat pockets. Wow. This is one of my favorite lettuces. This is called canasta. It's a head lettuce, but it has nice ribs.
I see it.
That are very crunchy. Now, this is a romaine type. This is called freckles, or flashy troutback. Johnny has flashy troutback, and this is a romaine, but it has very tender leaves and nice ribs, like a romaine, but it's very tender leaves. People look at this and say, "Oh, I'm never going to plant it. That's ugly. There's something wrong with that plant. This plant's diseased." But it's just a mutation within
good for you.
Yeah,
that's great. That's something when you're doing something you love.
It's not work.
You know that more than anybody.
Sure.
I mean, look at you. And after all these years, is it still fresh for you?
Yes, you have to have the passion. That's the most important thing. I mean, it depends on what your goal is. If your goal is, you want to make a lot of money, or you want to be famous, forget it. I mean, I like what I do, and I do it because that's my passion, and that's why I do it.
Listen, can you say goodbye to our listeners? Because it's time for us to say arrivederci.
No, we don't want to say goodbye, but we've had a lot of fun.
We'll come back when everything is up and running.
Okay, right? We'll say ciao. We'll say
ciao. All right, Lou, thank you very much for all your help today, and hopefully we got everything out of our system. I hope. Guy, thank you.
My pleasure.
My pleasure,
Mike.
Thank you. Take care, everybody.